to end the first round with fireworks. And it ends the way it started.
Welcome. I am Sean O'Connell, and this is another episode of PFL's Run It Back. It's been a long time since I've seen any of you for Run It Back, and this is a very special edition because we're going back to pre-PFL days. If you're a fan of the Professional Fighters League, you probably know that at one time the company was known as the World Series of Fighting. We're actually going back to look at one of the biggest stars in the history of the World Series of Fighting and Professional Fighters League. And I'm talking, of course, about Justin Gaethje, who's in Abu Dhabi right now, getting ready for a highly anticipated UFC title fight. He's the interim lightweight champion. He'll be taking on a guy who a lot of people think is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now, Khabib Nurmagomedov. This is a huge fight. Justin Gaethje has never forgotten where he came from, though. He comes from the World Series of Fighting PFL family, so we still show him a lot of love. And, you know, I wanted to go back to the very beginning and talk to the guy who signed it, this guy who scouted Justin Gaethje and discovered this untapped talent. So I bring in a man who's a legend in his own right, Ray Sefo, Professional Fighters League president. Ray, how are you?
Good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. 2021 is going to be an amazing PFL Season 3. But until then, we got to take a look at some of the history, some of the past. Walk me through how you discovered Justin Gaethje.
Call from his wrestling coach. I think he was 3-0, 4-0 at the time. And so with, I believe, 4 finishes. One of those finishes was a typical, it was like a rampage kind of finish where he picked the guy up and slammed him. And I was like, yeah, no, definitely, I need to have this guy, on the rosters. And then within, 2-3 fights, we were like, this kid's gonna be a star. And now he's getting ready to fight for, for a UFC title, which is amazing.
All right, we're gonna watch Justin Gaethje's final fight with the World Series of Fighting. Ray Sefo, the man who discovered Justin Gaethje. You ready to run it back?
Yep, let's run it back.
This is his final fight, a title defense against Luiz Firmino. And set the stage for me, Ray. Coming into this fight, Gaethje was a big favorite. Firmino, a lesser-known name, obviously. What was the matchup before we saw it?
It's grappler versus striker. Firmino, who has decent striking, but he's not known to really, knock people out. Where Justin Gaethje is that guy. Firmino, on the other hand, he's a bulldog. We knew he was going to be tough. We knew he was going to come to fight.
This is New Year's Eve 2016. Title fight at Madison Square Garden's Hulu Theater.
Got to say, Madison Square Garden is a great place to have a championship night.
So there's Justin Gaethje in the cage, coming in. And look, with Justin Gaethje, that there's not going to be this long, drawn-out, feel-out process. The energy that he showed, even walking back and forth, he translates that right at the bell. I love it.
Yeah, you can just see it in his eyes, just there. Like, he wants to battle ring right now.
We are set to go. This one scheduled for 5 in the lightweight division. How about this start?
The final World Series of Fighting bout, and there it is. That's the start you get from Justin Gaethje. Immediately in the fight, they're going at it. Firmino gets him to the ground right away. This is not what Justin Gaethje wanted.
Exactly. But you see, Firmino's game, too. Like, he came out and right away it was on the attack. The fact that he also started his comes from a wrestling background, obviously that helps a lot with his striking. The fact that he's confident that most guys won't be able to take him down. And as we can see here, Firmino obviously attempted to take him down and ended up on the bottom. Reason being is because Gaethje is a good wrestler himself, and so he's controlling, not only in the half guard, but the top decision.
Dan Wrigley out and stand him up. And there come the leg kicks. This is a guy with those low leg kicks. He's part of what made them so fashionable in MMA, right?
You saw there, as soon as they got up, he was ready to swing. There was no, again, like what you said earlier, there's no feeling out rounds with Justin.
He landed another leg kick. What's that? 4 heavy leg kicks early in the first round. And this is scheduled for 5 rounds.
Wow. Boys, I'll tell you what. And it's like a car wreck in between those two.
You got to check those kicks because eventually, they add up. And eventually, you won't be able to stand on that front leg.
Nice right hand there by Firmino. This is what you were talking about, Ray. He's known as a grappler, but totally willing and able to stand with one of the most dangerous strikers in the world.
Yeah, that was a beautiful takedown. Just the way he turned that angle, turned the corner.
Scramble back to the feet by Gaethje. But this is like, Firmino's in control here. This is part of what makes Gaethje so remarkable to me, because he's a guy who can turn it on and go 100% for 5 rounds. But he's also someone who's willing in these kind of stalls in a fight. He's willing to be patient, to wait for an opening. That's something that in 32 fights in my career, I never got good at.
Obviously, throughout the years, he's matured a lot. And again, just to second what you just said, he's very patient in this fight. Taking his time, waiting for his openings.
Justin Gaethje is hauling around a 165-pound Brazilian backpack right now and trying to figure out what to do with it.
The thunder kick!
The rolling thunder.
Here's how it got underway, and here's how it ends round 1. Gaethje going airborne.
And you saw the replays of that kick, and this is one thing I want to emphasize to people. It looks like a wild, kind of like crazy move that is low percentage, but he landed that kick exactly where he intended for it to land. That is his technique. That's so impressive.
It's not an easy kick to land also. He doesn't care. He'll throw anything out there.
More leg kicks from Gaethje already early in round 2. 30 seconds into round 2, they're already right back at it. They've been on the feet, on the ground, back on the feet, and the mouthpiece has already come out. That's the pace of Justin Gaethje fights.
And it was a pretty even fight up to this point. I mean, Firmino just landing a right hand there.
This round is Firmino landing a lot more frequently than Justin Gaethje is.
Yeah, I agree.
More of those leg kicks scoring there.
There's only one gear in Justin's arsenal, and that is the 5th gear out the gate.
That's right.
Right out the gate, he does the 5th gear.
And look, that's why he's a fan favorite, and that's why he's in the position that he's in, because he marries just constant pressing style with incredible skill and toughness. And
Justin Gaethje has been in some serious scraps before in his years at 16-0, but this one, Henzo, this is trouble because Firmino's going nowhere.
Really, really grueling second round here in Justin Gaethje's final World Series of Fighting matchup, title defense against Luiz Firmino, who's in the blue shorts, of course. And Firmino with an impressive second round. After that first round where it's tough to know how the judges are going to score it, Firmino unsuccessful in getting this one back to the ground in round 2. And he clearly switched mentally and said, fine, I'll just slug it out with this dude.
Right. Yeah, no, Firmino is tough. But I think that last kick that Justin threw, Firmino felt that low kick. So I'm surprised that Justin hasn't thrown more low kicks.
Into round 2 there. And this is what's so fascinating. You've got a defending champion, right? You probably don't know how round 1 was scored. If your corner's doing a decent job, they let you know that round 2 is not what you wanted it to be. So now coming up for the 3rd round, it's obviously a championship fight, so you could potentially go 5. But Justin Gaethje, he maybe feels like he's either 1-1 or 0-2 here. He's got to step it up.
Trevor Whitman is a great coach, so I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Trevor told him.
Nice stiff jab, a little bit more head movement early, and bam, another big leg kick. I don't have the official count, but goodness gracious, there's 20 of those have landed flush. That leg for Firmino, we should call him and ask him how long it took him to walk. That's crazy. Gaethje tried to sprawl to get out of this situation, this front headlock position from Firmino. His mouthpiece came out and he just snatched it right back up off the mat. What do you think of that rear hand uppercut, the long uppercut? What do you think of that punch?
It's dangerous if the guy actually sits inside and throw a left hook off that. Someone like you who throws a beautiful left hook.
You saw there, Gaethje, this is that wrestling we're talking about. Firmino enters on the takedown attempt, pulls guard, gets Gaethje down on top of him, and he just stands up out of it and gets right back to work, pressing the action once again.
100% sure that's look at this blows.
What a combination.
He hits everything. If it had landed right uppercut, left hook, right hook, and another uppercut. Gaethje's landing everything now.
And this is where Gaethje, I think, starts to take over in this fight.
But the toughness of Firmino, though.
Yeah, Gaethje's put down really good fighters with less than that, and Firmino, the machine, still coming. Firmino's willing to trade inside. This fight is exactly what I want to see. Look at this. Firmino just took a huge uppercut and just stood there and gets right back to it.
Oh, Firmino taking a big right to the side of the head. And now it's Gaethje starting to apply the pressure.
I forget how great this fight is.
A minute left in the round almost, and he's turned the tide a little bit. Big body shot there. It looks like he's turned the tide from round 2.
I think he kind of knew that that last round wasn't the best, so coming out, and I'm pretty sure Trevor told him, hey, you better get working.
Both of these guys sucking a little bit of wind here, but look at that, standing right in range, willing to go. Reminds me, Ray, of a fight that I've seen you and Mark Hunt standing toe-to-toe. It's that tacit agreement, like, yeah, we're just going to stand here and slug it out.
Yeah, this fight does remind me of that fight.
Both these guys look like at any moment they could go down, and somehow they're managing to stay on their feet.
One of the best fights I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Firmino's eye, by the way, we'll get a close-up of it, I think, here between rounds. Firmino's eye is in really, really bad shape. Less than 10 seconds here in round number 3 of a possible 5. And there's a big hook on that damaged eye. Nice right hand on the replay there. That's what, man, Luiz Firmino doesn't get enough credit. He is a tough dude. All right, this is a strange situation. Again, this is a title fight, right? This is Justin Gaethje's final title defense for World Series of Fighting. About to start it again, and the doctor gets called in right before they get back to touching gloves.
I'm surprised that the doctor wasn't called to the corner earlier.
Look at that, trying to pry open Luiz Firmino's right eye. Obviously, that's a real problem for your vision when you swell all the way shut like that.
You can see on Justin's face, like he wasn't happy with he had a feeling that was going to be stopped. And he wasn't happy with that.
And there it is. You see, the doctor says no, he can't see out of the right eye. Bergliata waves it off. And to Ray's point, Gaethje saw that coming. And even though that's a TKO victory for him, that's a title defense for him, because he is the guy he is, he didn't want to win that one. That's why Justin Gaethje's a fan favorite.
Your winner and still the World Series of Fighting lightweight champion of the world.
So that's Justin Gaethje's final title defense under the Professional Fighters League World Series of Fighting umbrella. After this, he became a free agent. He moved on to the UFC. All love between Professional Fighters League and Justin Gaethje. We're all still big fans of his.
We're all proud that we were part of his journey, you know. The fact that he was a world champion for us. The fact that the world got to see him on our stage first. 100%. We're very proud.
Thank you all for tuning in to Professional Fighters League Run It Back. I am Sean O'Connell. That is Ray Sefo, the legend and president of Professional Fighters League. 2021 Season 3. Be there for it. Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah. Get ready. Listen. What you wanna do? If you don't strike first, that's when they gon' come at you.